Good morning. Welcome to the Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Markiesha. Today's behind the scenes story is based on the 1930 case, Bob Jones University versus United States. The South Carolina University discriminated against interracial marriage and blacks upon the campus because of that they had their taxes taken away. It's the 14th Amendment, which had to do with equal rights. Today we have both sides of the story, from the superintendent, the students that got kicked out, and the judge. And now here's the clip.
Speaking of the president, the election of Barack Obama has already apparently caused some change at Bob Jones University, a private college in Greenville, South Carolina, that did not admit black students until 1971 and only dropped its prohibition on interracial dating in the year 2000. Yes, that Bob Jones University, where candidate George W. Bush spoke in 2000 before they dropped the dating ban. Bob Jones U has finally issued an apology for the school's racist policies. Quote, "We failed to accurately represent the Lord and to fulfill the commandment to love others as ourselves. For these failures, we are profoundly sorry. We allowed institutional policies to remain in place that were racially hurtful." Bob Jones University President Stephen Jones, the great-grandson of the school's founder, Bob Jones, decided to issue the apology because the school, he says, still gets questions about its views on race. In the statement, they do point out that the university now provides financial support for 2 scholarship funds for minority applicants at a school of 5,000 students. That's 0.04% of the student population. Moving on up.
My name is Markiesha Jones, and I was a student at Bob Jones University. I moved out to South Carolina to attend Bob Jones University with my long-term boyfriend, Bobby White, who is a white male. Relationships. At first, we wanted to keep our relationships separated, to keep business and pleasure separated in schools. But anyways, we were separated by color anyways. In the classroom, when we were found out that we were together, they said how to separate it from blacks and whites, men and women. I don't know what else to say. I was in an interracial relationship and they didn't accept me.
The Bob Jones University versus United States case. I'm here to tell you guys what really was going on with the case and what was really going, behind the scenes. Well, the IRS wanted universities and schools to stop discrimination. So in order for that to kind of stop, they had to, take their tax exempt away. And it wasn't just Bob Jones University, it was other universities as well that got their taxes taken away. Now, for one, the university was breaking the 14th Amendment, which clearly states it guarantees equal rights. And the school was not being equal because it was discriminating against blacks and also those in an interracial marriage. Now, the votes were very, very clear, 8-1, and I would have to agree with the people who voted the 8, that had the 8 votes, because, like I said earlier, it broke the 14th Amendment. The IRS had made a new public policy trying to get all the schools to stop discriminating, and it's just not, not fair. Now the university, it lets black students into school because the school probably learned their lesson and they let blacks in. Well, at first they only let black students in that were married, and now they let them in regardless of their status, as long as you meet the requirements of the school. And my feelings toward the case is basically it's clear. It's 8-1, so I would agree with the people who had the 8 votes, because, like I stated earlier, now that's kind of.
Hello, I'm the superintendent from Bob Jones University during the case of Bob Jones University versus the United States. Yes, I recall it very vividly from back then. It was in the late 30s. At Bob Jones University, we were still very segregated, and it was just the Jim Crow laws had separated students, white and black, male and female. We happened to have a black person and a white person in the same class at the time, and they were dating, which no one really knew of, and it was very controversial to our school and to me. I really thought very badly that I didn't want that to happen. So what I ended up doing was segregating the classes, not allowing men and women together, not allowing blacks and whites together. And then I decided I wanted to get tax exemptions from the IRS. Literally, I know that they were not going to allow me this because of what I did, segregating the classes. So I took them to court, basically. I didn't think it was right that they were doing this, and they didn't think it was right what I was doing, which I thought was perfectly fine at the time. So we went to court. Judges, pretty much judges the whole everybody that was voting for the case or against me. It was just basically one versus everyone. After the case, it was unanimous 8-1. I was very angry and mad after that case because I wasn't getting any money, just because I segregated some classes when there was segregation and racism everywhere throughout the South. And I thought it was wrong that they did that to me and picked me out, singled me out. The judge tried to say they were doing this to all schools, not just Bob Jones University, but I thought they were singling me out. Haven't talked to either student since then. I think it was perfectly fine what I did. They were dating, black and white, at a time where that wasn't acceptable, so why should I be punished for that? And I just think what I did at that time wasn't wrong. Still have the same beliefs now. Nothing changed since then. If you look at videos now, same thing's going on with Bob Jones University, still racism. So what did I do wrong? Nothing. So you can go behind the scenes all you want to, ask how many questions you want to, but still gonna be the same. I believe I did nothing wrong at the time, and that it's nothing wrong with that. Court decided it was wrong, but I didn't think it was wrong. But Bob Jones University went to court, had a dispute and everything. We came back, unanimous 8-1. So we lost, and we didn't get the money for it, and it changed the way things were done from then on. All colleges were exempt from getting tax exemptions if they were discriminating or being racist towards students.